I realize, what I'm going to say is hearsay. There's no evidence that, this conversation took place. You'll just have to take my word for it. And obviously, I often come to suspicions about, things that may not have happened. I'm schizoaffective and delusional. So, even if there was nefarious intentions, they're like, good luck proving it, but... So I created a song about how somebody wants to go into the hood, and his friend says to him, I think you're going to get assaulted and possibly killed. And it was based on a real-life conversation I had with Dr. Garrett, my old CBT psychotherapist, my old CBT psychiatrist. Now, he knew my fear was, I was always expressing how I was afraid to go to sessions with him in Brooklyn because he was, at SUNY Downstate. I perceived it to be a dangerous area. I was always home and I felt safe and sound and protected by my mother and stepfather. I had separation anxiety. I was anxious and agoraphobic. I was also afraid of the hood, like East New York. I even have a song how I'm just terrified of the hood in East New York and that kind of thing. And I was saying this in 2017 when I first started seeing Dr. Garrett. I was afraid of my own shadow, So this got me suspicious. Could somebody, let's call a spade, could my stepsister have seen Dr. Garrett prior to me? This is a suspicion. Nobody has confirmed or corroborated this. And could Dr. Garrett not have liked me because he put the puzzle together and realized my stepsister was related to me, and maybe she blamed me, I don't know, maybe because of the intergender wrestling. And could Dr. Garrett have had nefarious intentions with the Fountain House? Because that was like a homeless shelter in some ways, that was in, Hell's Kitchen, that was a really bad area, that was the hood. Dr. Garrett said to me, the true hood is far away from train stations. There's no mass transit to the real hood. Now, at the time, I didn't think much about that, but could mass transit have been a reference to ECW, the kid that New Jack attacked with a knife? If you don't know who New Jack is, he's a gangster, he's this violent criminal. Dr. Garrett said, if you go to the real hood, they would assume you're a narc. No lily white boys go there. They would assume you're an undercover police officer, and they would leave you alone because they would assume it was a sting or someone trying to arrest them for drugs or something like that. And they would assume it's a sting. Could that be like Owen Hart? Could he have had nefarious intentions to, hurt me while creating a facade he was helping me? The more I think about it, it makes me ponder, could Dr. Garrett have had nefarious intentions? Don't speculate. I'm told by Dr. Garrett and everybody he had good intentions. At the Fountain House, I had some of the best experiences of my life there. I met friends, I met a girlfriend, I was exploring the city. I met some kind-hearted people. Nobody was trying to sabotage me, especially not Dr. Garrett. Yes, I had the HIV accident and scare, and it's 5 years later from, January 2020. I took HIV PrEP, but, that was my choice. Nobody gaslit that into happening, and that was one time out of maybe 100 times I went, Most of the time I went to the Fountain House and into New York City, I had fun with friends. Nobody was trying to sabotage me. Nobody wanted to see me get assaulted or possibly killed. In 2017, when I first met Dr. Garrett, I was sitting in my room, anxious and agoraphobic, afraid of the real world. And everybody, my parents, Dr. Garrett, Dr. Copland, the friends I was meeting at the Fountain House, they wanted to see me soar and live up to my potential and succeed. That's what people wanted for me. Nobody wanted to see me end up like Owen Hart or the mass transit kid that was attacked by New Jack, Nobody wanted to see me get assaulted or possibly killed.